All right, so I got mad earlier, and typically I'm not very mad when Jim's not here.
Don't
right?
make me angry.
Yeah, so you know
wouldn't
me.
like me when I'm angry.
Yeah, I'll get heated over certain things. I'm not normally a guy that gets mad at lists. Jim will lose his mind over a list, right? Steph Curry's not top 7, and
Does
then
the
he
top
freaks.
25 count as a list?
Top what?
Top 25.
Okay, get mad at lists.
Okay.
Fair. And Ken Palm, and you know me. But Jim will lose his mind at a list. I mean, he really will. He would spend a whole day on a list, and he loves it. It's like he truly loves it. He's not making it up. Like he truly loves it. I don't normally get carried away. Well, anyway, this morning, Brent, I'm going about my business, right? Having Honey Nut Cheerios. It's like any other morning until I get tagged into a tweet that is from CBS Sports, reputable source, good college basketball writers. Okay, really, they have. I listen to podcasts from some of these guys. I read their articles. They've covered the NCAA tournament for 40 years or whatever it is. So there's this list from Matt Norlander, and I listen to one of his podcasts. And here's what you got.
But nothing. I'm just wondering because I read the list and there's like 3 things that I think could have pissed you off. So I'm just wondering which one it actually was.
Okay, so here is the list, folks. Okay. Ranking the 23 biggest stories in men's basketball, college basketball, for our 2023 year in review. So let me preface by saying this. Let me start the conversation here. In the history of the Final Four, there's only been one buzzer beater with the team trailing in the history of the Final Four. It was Lamont Butler. When the ball left his hand, the team was trailing. The ball went in, the team won. It's the only instance in the history of the Final Four of a buzzer beater with the team trailing. There have been instances with the team tied and some epic moments. Chris Jenkins for Villanova comes to mind recently. And there's others, okay? But in terms of team trailing at the buzzer, you guys know the rest because you're listening here in San Diego. This is the top 23 stories from 2023. Lamont Butler's got one of the most epic shots in the history of the tournament. Now, I understand it wasn't the national championship. It was the Final Four. Clearly, it's a top 1, 2, 3 moment of the year. Oh, no, not according to Matt Norlander. Where does this moment rank in terms of the top 23 moments of men's college basketball? Not even men's and women's, men's college basketball. Clearly, it's number 1 or 2, right? Or number 3 at the very worst. No, it's number 15.
Tell them what it's sandwiched between.
It's sandwiched between Princeton makes a Cinderella run to the Sweet 16. Okay, we've seen that happen before. And number 14, where Jim lost his mind, even though he's in New York City today, but he tweeted about it. Ed Cooley takes the Georgetown job, enraging the Providence fan base. You can't compare. And by the way, say it's a better moment of the year. You can't compare Ed Cooley, who 98% of our listeners have no clue who he is. And that's with all due respect to our listeners. Who cares?
But the Friar fans are pissed.
So Ed Cooley going from Providence to Georgetown is a bigger story than Lamont Butler's shot. Here's some other moments that are quote unquote bigger than Lamont Butler's shot. Louisville's dismal year, number 11. Yeah, that was a bigger moment. No question about it. Jim Boeheim's awkwardly executed retirement. Give me a break. Bob Huggins resigns at West Virginia. It was a big story in college basketball. St. John's hires Rick Pitino. Again, big story. Bobby Knight dying was a huge story. Okay. Let's see. Top 5, the Big 10 and Big 12 kill the Pac-12. That doesn't scream college basketball story to me. Number 16, Fairleigh Dickinson over top seed at Purdue. Okay. Huge story. But bigger than Lamont Butler at the buzzer. Here's the top 3. The Brandon Miller murder case involvement.
See,
this is getting weird, right?
My issue with this was his wording of it, because he goes, Darius Miles, Brandon Miller's murder case involvement mars sport, ruins Alabama's season.
No, San Diego State beating them in the Sweet 16.
Exactly. That's what I thought too. Is it's like, no, the murder thing didn't ruin their season. It's like,
no, their season wouldn't have been ruined. In fact, if they beat San Diego State and made a Final Four, I think for the first time in school history. So, okay, so San Diego State checks in at number 15. And by the way, this isn't some ridiculous list from like trolls on social media just trying to find clout. Like, this is a legitimate writer in Matt Norlander who is widely respected. That's why this is so off to me. Number 2 is FAU turns in historic mid-major run, essentially. So wait, hold on. FAU's number 2 and San Diego State beat FAU and they're number 15. And then number 1, no real issue, although you could say it every year, the national champion, It's UConn wins title and dominating strut for the record books. They were very good in the tournament. There's no question. Deservedly one of the top stories of the year. But I'm sorry. For San Diego State making a title game, the first time a Mountain West program's ever gone further than a Sweet 16, and the manner in which they won in Houston, to be behind Ed Cooley leaving Providence for Georgetown is literally laughable and comical and takes
I thought
away
it was funny.
all credibility from this list. Now, why am I giving it 6 minutes of airtime? That's fair. That's fair. But because I'm like literally out of visceral reaction when I read it. I clicked on it with no expectations, thinking, oh, I kept scrolling. I'm like, well, yeah, they shouldn't be 10th. They shouldn't be 5th. I assume they're going to be like number 2. I thought it might be number 1, to be honest. Even with UConn winning the title, I
didn't want to be number 1.
I thought Butler's shot was so memorable and so iconic.
They won't give us that much respect to put us number 1. I knew it wouldn't be number 1.
So
I figured it wouldn't be top 5. I figured it'd be somewhere like around 8, but not 15.
So here I am, 43-year-old yelling at a list on December 28th. But come on, you can do better, Matt Norlander, CBS Sports. You guys can do better.